Welcome to the Successful Relationship Coach podcast, where it's all about becoming wildly successful without having to work 24/7. This is about learning to do less, not more. I'm your host, Master Coach Kathy Murray. Welcome to the Successful Relationship Coach podcast. My name is Coach Kathy, and today I want to talk about what does it mean to be a wildly successful relationship coach. I know for me, when I first started, it meant just coaching a client or two, maybe leading a workshop. I was a full-time CFO where I had this full-time career with raising children and going to work 9 to 5, so to speak, where I had benefits and retirement and really was a coach kind of underground. I didn't want anybody to know because what led me to coaching was really all the breakdowns in my life, all the problems that brought me to coaching and had me become a coach were things I didn't want anybody to know about. So I kept it on the lowdown, if you will. Didn't want anybody to know. And so what meant success for me in the beginning was, like I said, keeping the transformation that I got in my own life from receiving coaching alive by helping others. And I did it on a very small scale in the beginning because I had this big career and I felt like I was successful at that and certainly had enough on my plate. I know many coaches are feeling the same way. Maybe they're a physician or maybe they're a realtor or a banker and they came to coaching because, they too received coaching and then they felt called to call others, but they weren't quite ready to let go of one platform for another. And so it's kind of a side gig for them. And that's how it was for me too. And so the definition of what it means to be a successful relationship coach may differ for each and every one of us. I know for me, I would admire coaches that I got to work with because they what I deemed as successful, and maybe I didn't think of myself as successful because it was just more like a hobby. Even though I got paid a little bit for it, I wasn't doing it full time. Certainly wasn't marketing myself. It was word of mouth. The internet was not even around then in 2000, early 2000 when I first started. And even before that, I started working with a coach. But anyway, so what is it to you that defines what it means to be successful as a relationship coach? Maybe for you, it's just coaching a couple of clients while you raise your family, and you're not really looking to make a living from coaching. And then there's some of you who define success as having a full client load and making 6 figures or 7 figures because you're wanting to really make a big difference in the world. And I can relate to that yearning, that longing. It wasn't alive early on. It was just, like I said, me keeping my transformation alive, keeping what I learned through my struggles of saving my marriage, learning how to be a stepmom, dealing with the challenges in life of raising children, overcoming my tumultuous childhood, being just hurt and angry and defensive. All of those ways of being that were getting in the way of my success in career and family and as building a coaching business, if you will. And so I wonder, like I said, what is it for you that defines becoming a successful relationship coach? I'd be curious to hear in the comments. And I just remember back when I thought that my corporate job success was defined as reaching the top salary, working at the most prestigious private school. I was a CFO for 25 years, managing finances and building buildings and really producing the back end side of an education where the educators were in the front row and I was in the background making it all happen. I've told you before, I've been at home in the second position, making it all happen. And for me, success in that career was, like I said, making the most money that I could make, being at the most prestigious private school, being chosen, if you will. And for the longest time, I didn't feel successful, even though on paper I was successful. And the reason I didn't feel successful is I just had no formal education and I felt like a fraud. And so for the longest time, I felt like, oh my gosh, I've got to go get the piece of paper. I've got to become legit uh, in order to really attain that success. So at one point in my 25-year career as a CFO, I snuck away and went back to school and got that piece of paper. And then I thought, ta-da, I can come out, I can apply for that Hollywood school job and make, multiple six figures, and I will have arrived. What's so funny is that I did get the degree and I did get the job offer. And at the same time, one of my coaches offered me the opportunity to build a coaching practice and organization on her platform. And I said, no, I don't think you can afford me. And I even said, yeah, a second time. No, 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 no. I'm going to pursue this other opportunity where I will have arrived. I will have become successful in my career. I devoted so much time, even went and got the piece of paper. So of course I wanted to say yes to the big Hollywood school that did offer me the job. And I didn't realize what was going to come with it was a 2-hour commute each way, each day. 30 days into that, I regretted saying no to my coach, Laura, and my friend who'd helped me save my marriage and given me this generous, generous offer that I said no to. And looking back, I can see that it was my fear of giving up the security of what I thought was successful, of a job with benefits and retirement and vacation pay, multiple six figures, all of that. I thought that was success. But I came to find out that what success was for me was not that. It was actually honoring my gifts, doing something scary, being close to home, not commuting, and finally facing what I knew I was meant to do all along. And so I called Laura after about a month of commuting each way, 2 hours each way. And I said, hey, do you still have that opportunity available? And she said, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I've hired someone else. And I literally got to my bottom. I cried and cried and knew I couldn't commute one more day. And that I was really meant to become a relationship coach and to really make the difference that I'm called to make, that I knew long ago that I was meant for. And she saw, but I didn't see. And so she said, why don't you just take a month and take good care of yourself, and I'll see what I could maybe help you with or offer you in a month's time. She could see I was really broken. I was devastated. I thought I failed. Talk about reaching what I thought was the success only to fall to the bottom and fail. Yeah, I left that job. I said, I can't come anymore. I can't make the commute. And then I asked Laura for the job, and she said it's already been given to someone else. So I was at a pretty big low. But she did call me in a month, and she offered me the opportunity to talk to her prospects. And she said, but it's under one condition. You can do this. And I said, what's that? And she said, you got to work from home in your yoga pants. I'm like, oh my gosh, coming off of a commute, this was like music to my ears. So I did. I started making phone calls and connecting with women and learning how to share my story and the trials and tribulations, the successes, and providing hope and inspiration. And I was clunky at it in the beginning. I was nervous in the beginning. My ego was involved in the beginning. I just was so wanting to prove to Laura that I could do this, prove to myself that I could do this. I needed to replace my income and kind of earn my keep, if you will. And in the beginning, it just wasn't happening. I wasn't that good at it. But sooner or later, I really started to tweak my conversation and let go of any attachment of selling anything and just connecting. And I'm here to say I had the biggest transformation in learning how to connect with other people and start sharing my story. And within a month's time of talking to people, I started to really start to have success by having women say yes. And before I knew it, Laura came to me and said, I want to actually give you that opportunity again to run the company, form a coaching organization, and help me build something. And I said yes. And that's where I've been for the last 8 years, training and developing coaches to do the same thing that I did. Learn how to talk to women, share their story, and overcome their fears and their lack of belief. I just had no belief in myself that I could make a difference. Who am I to make a difference? Well, let me tell you, women, Laura, my coach, my daughter, my friends have all told me, you have a gift. You should write a book. You should do a podcast. You should help people. You have something to say. You've transformed your life and your family. And so when I work with coaches, I ask them the same thing. Where's the evidence in your life that you've actually succeeded? And who are the people that are in your corner, standing for you, telling you you have a gift? And where are you saying no to yourself when they tell you you've got a gift? Where are you saying, oh, no, 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 like I did? And then regretting it. Where are you regretting not honoring your gifts? And how can you increase your belief in what you have to give? I invite you to look in your life and see where you have transformed your life. That's where you're gifted to empower others in the same way. Who better to help someone than the person who got the same results a client wants? You know, you can't go somewhere you haven't been yourself. And so I saved my marriage, my second marriage, from the brink of divorce. And then I built a coaching organization, and now I'm helping others do the same. And it's my gift, and I'm owning it, and I'm increasing my belief because I have a coach. I believe in receiving coaching myself. And so for me, what it means to be a successful relationship coach may be altogether different than what it means for you. But I invite you to consider, what are your gifts? Where are you passionate about helping people that you've walked that journey? You've gone through the valley of that pain and hurt. I know all too well what it's like to say no and then come back and regret it and say yes and then build something and thrive beyond my wildest dreams. And it's why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to share everything I've learned and stand for others doing the same thing. Whoever's hiding out, who's ever playing small, whoever doesn't have a belief, whoever isn't getting coaching to take you from where you are and where you want to be, that's who I want to reach. That's who I'm standing for. You know, it takes action, regular and consistent action towards your dreams, that really does produce results in my experience. And whenever I get afraid or I'm not listening to those around me who are telling me what my gifts are and I'm denying them, I'm actually doing a disservice, not only to my own happiness, but to the world. So I hope you'll take this into consideration. What are your gifts? Where are you gifted and talented? And what does it mean to you to be successful? What would it look like? I hope you'll define it. For me today, what is successful is reaching as many women as I can who want to keep their transformation alive by empowering them to become successful relationship coaches, whatever that definition is for them, whether it's coaching one client or coaching thousands of women, or coaching in another language or another currency, or leading workshops, or just keeping their own transformation alive and serving an organization. You can do it. You really, really can. How many of you have said yes to yourself in a lot of ways, whether it's like investing in coach training, or maybe you've invested in a craft like learning music or dancing. Maybe you went back to school like I did and got a degree. And so you have evidence of where you have been successful. Maybe you took on a weight loss program and you were successful there and you got fit. Think of where do you have evidence that you can say yes and create a result? It's that evidence that I'm going to invite you to lean on as you embark on becoming a successful relationship coach, so that you can believe that you are capable of taking a ball and moving it down the field. I'm telling you, there were no clients. There were no clients when Laura asked me to join her. And now we have hundreds of thousands of clients. We had a handful of coaches. And now we have over almost 75 coaches all around the world. And I'm here to say I took part in all of that. And I'm owning that. And I want you to own your successes so you can celebrate and pay forward the difference you want to make. Look for the evidence where you've been successful elsewhere in life. Just like my CFO career, I was so successful even without the formal education. But it was my internal mindset that was getting in my way. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't want anybody to know that I didn't have an education. You know, sometimes the things that I've pursued for getting right with myself ended up being a total flop. That Hollywood job was one of them. Just me being afraid of saying yes to Laura, who's in the arena with me, championing me. You can do it. I believe in you. I see your gifts. And I'm like, oh, no. My coach introduced me to a speech that I've been listening to, and it's been inspiring me to remember and honor the people who are in the arena with me. And it's this speech by Theodore Roosevelt called Man in the Arena. And I realized that I've had a lot of people in the arena with me, championing me. And I have focused instead on the people way up in the high seats who I'm afraid that are going to throw stones at me and judge me and criticize me. And that has kept me from doing this. And I'm just no longer willing to let fear stop me. So I'm honoring those who've been in the arena with me. I've mentioned them here before. My coach, Kate, my daughter, Jennifer, my daughter, Megan, my coach and friend and mentor and business partner, Laura, my husband, and all of you. So thank you for being in the arena with me. I invite you to go check out that speech. It's pretty incredible. In fact, I'll probably put a link here in the show notes so you can listen to it. All right, until next time, take really good care of you.
Thanks for listening to the Successful Relationship Coach podcast, where unscripted heart and wisdom are shared each week. Go to successfulrelationshipcoach.com and get your free Successful Relationship Coach roadmap today.